Of the Farmers Union told ITV Border yesterday that farmers did not have enough information from the UK government about Brexit and markets for their products in Europe to plan ahead. That's not good enough, is it, with only a year to go?
Well, what we have said in relation to farming, and of course, once we have finally left the European Union, we will be coming out of the Common Agricultural Policy and ensuring we can develop our own policy in the United Kingdom, recognising the devolved status of agriculture. But what we will be doing is ensuring, as we've committed to, that the overall sum of support that is available to farmers will be there for the rest of this Parliament. What we are now doing is consulting on what the shape of future farming policy should be in the United Kingdom to ensure that we're able to see the farming industry thrive when we're outside the European Union. I believe there's a really good future for farmers in Scotland, for farmers in other parts of the United Kingdom outside of the European Union.
Yes, but with reference to the Common Agricultural Policy, the Scottish Government say that without knowing about the financial deal between Scotland and the UK over replacing the Common Agricultural Policy, they cannot give details of a new system of farm support for Scotland. Your government is responsible for that delay, isn't it?
No, what we're doing at the moment is, there are two strands here that we're talking about. One is the way in which we're discussing with the Scottish Government how we can ensure that when we leave the European Union, we devolve more powers down to the Scottish Government. We ensure also that those markets that are important for Scottish farmers and for Scottish businesses, the markets elsewhere in the United Kingdom, are still able to be open through not providing barriers within our internal market, that we get a good trade deal with the European Union so that that trade with the European Union is able to continue. And of course, we're going to be looking to ensuring that we can open up more markets for Scottish farmers and others around the rest of the world.
Well, how do you respond to claims from the Scottish Government that Brexit will damage the economy of Scotland?
I believe there are real opportunities for the United Kingdom when we leave the European Union. We are starting now the negotiations on what our trade arrangement and arrangements overall in our economic partnership will be with the EU27 once we leave. I believe that we can negotiate a good agreement which is tariff-free and as frictionless trade as possible, so we maintain those markets in the EU, but also that we open up markets around the rest of the world. Brexit provides us with opportunities. I want to see us coming together, the four nations across the United Kingdom. We have a very strong union that is in our interests, and it's in our interest to come together and really seize these opportunities for the future.
There's been a long-running row over the return of EU powers in areas devolved to Holyrood. Are you adamant that some of these powers must be retained by Westminster?
Yeah. We're very clear that when we see powers being returned from Brussels, we will be devolving significantly more powers to the devolved administrations, to the Scottish Government and others. But we do want to ensure that we maintain the UK's internal market. So farmers in Scotland can carry on selling produce into the rest of the United Kingdom as easily as they do today. So we're talking with the Scottish Government about how we can ensure through the legislation that we both devolve more powers to Scotland, but also ensure that we maintain that ability to continue to trade freely within the UK.
If you can't get a deal on what the SNP call a Westminster power grab, are you happy to have the matter decided in the Supreme Court?
Well, first of all, let's be clear, there is no power grab. We are not taking back any of the powers that are currently devolved to the Scottish Government. Indeed, the Scottish Government will be receiving more powers as a result of us leaving the European Union. What we're discussing with the Scottish Government is how we can do that and ensure that we still maintain the ability for Scottish farmers, for Scottish businesses to trade freely across the whole of the United Kingdom, just as we're negotiating the agreement to ensure they can continue to trade freely with the rest of the European Union.
Prime Minister, last week a Peterhead fisherman told STV News that David Davis was a turncoat. Are you a turncoat too? Will you sell out the North East fishermen if that's what it takes to strike a deal on other issues?
Well, I was very pleased yesterday to meet representatives of the Scottish fishing industry and to hear from them directly what they want to see in terms of our fishing once we have become that independent coastal state, which we will become at the end of the implementation period. So when we're out of the European Union at the end of that implementation period, it will be the UK that will be determining access to our waters. So I was very pleased to hear directly from the Scottish fishing industry what their interests and what their hopes for the future are. As a UK government, we're very clear we want to see the fishing industry across the UK, in Scotland and elsewhere, enhanced. We want to rebuild that industry for the future. That's our aim, and that's what we'll be talking to the fishing industry here in Scotland and elsewhere about over the coming months.
Theresa May in Ayrshire there.
We will make America great again.